not working.
Okay, so then if we can't try it, so what's the issue?
It won't connect.
It's more than my
Okay.
glasses.
I know,
So,
should I just do it?
Just do it, 'cause they like cheat.
You know what, try to go in, log in a browser. Log into a browser. And log in as guest.
My God.
Okay. What else? You logged in as guest? Yes, no?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think anyone's gonna come.
So where's the roll button?
I know, but like I just.
Good, good, good. So did everybody log into Blackboard? And what do we see different? Anything different? Everybody's like, doing, what do we see? What is your name?
For tonight.
Michael.
Michael. Did you log into Blackboard?
Yeah.
And what do you see? When you log into Blackboard, what do you see?
It's like my friends just like
A typical page. What does typical mean? Have you taken my course before? Michael.
No.
So it's not typical. So what do you see there? So do you see a course of BTE?
Yeah.
How many courses of BTE do you see there?
Just one.
Just one. When did you register for this class? Michael?
Like in April.
In April. You were that excited to see me. Do you see any other? See? Back by popular man. Who else? Do you see anything else? You have two. What does it say?
One, you're an instructor.
One, you're instructor. Who's an instructor in the class? Wow, we got some smart people here. They're instructors already. Is everyone there? So one of the things here. So some of you have something that's called what? Instructor. What is your name? Spencer. So Spencer, what do you think that means, Spencer? It looks like what? It says instructor, you're teaching, so basically you can, you're looking at your bank account and saying, where's my money, right? If I'm teaching this class, right? But besides that, what does that mean to you? It says audit. So it says audit. How many people found that? Help your neighbor. If you see your neighbor, one of the things in this class is different than other classes is I want you to help your neighbor. In the exam, that's not the case, but any other time outside the exams, in terms, you know how people say, go ahead and do your own work and so forth, we're going to do group projects, we're going to help our neighbor. Everybody has to participate, everybody has to be prepared, but what we do is, all this stuff, does it work all the time? Evan, when we're futzing with this, Evan, already, right? We're always going to have issues, right? But the whole idea is that we're going to think about ways to collaborate and ways to work this out. So, how many people now raise your hand that are saying that you're an instructor? Raise your hand high. Don't be shy. You know, also we need to get blood flowing. Isn't this horrible that we're sitting all the time, right? At least I get to stand. So anytime you want to stand, you're welcome to stand. Okay? So one of the things here is we got that. So we got to figure out what's the difference where it says instructor and the other one. Did you find it, Michael? Or you never got it? You found it. Good. So we're starting. So we got that. And what's the other case? So you got student. So there's two modes. So one of the things I want you to do is go into the one that says student. Everybody listening to me? Go in the one that says student. And what do you see when it says student? What do you see in the front one, Michael? It's not just going to say typical. What do you see for student? It says announcing blank screen. What does it say on the right-hand side?
Help.
What? On the column on the right, what does it say? You see course syllabus?
It's on the left.
Yeah, on the left. So what do you see? You see course syllabus. What else do you see?
Documents.
Documents. Okay, so open up documents. Everybody do this. Michael's just the leader now. Later on, you'll get help from everyone. So what do you see under documents, Michael?
Resource.
Okay, and what else?
Assignments.
Assignments.
Web links.
Web links. Okay, so go into documents. press the key to go into the documents folder. You see anything in there? What do you see?
PowerPoint live stream.
Okay, so you see PowerPoint live streaming. So click on the PowerPoint. Everybody do it. As I'm telling Michael, he's just leading. Click on the PowerPoint. And what do you see under PowerPoint?
A lot of PowerPoint.
A lot of, you see for chapter 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so download that. So download that from chapter 1. Download that to your computer. Who doesn't have a laptop today? Anyone? So look onto your neighbors. Because why am I doing this? So move a position. The reason why is you get to know everybody in the class, but we're going to be doing assignments. We're already going to be working today. Right? So the idea is we're going to be working on our laptop. So every day you can bring your laptop or at least sit next to someone that has a laptop because we're going to be working. Okay, Michael, so did you download the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, now go back and go to assignments.
You have a quiz.
Okay, I have a quiz. So what did we say about assignments under quizzes? You remember, Michael? Were you here last time?
Yeah.
What did we say? Do you remember? Or do you need help from somebody else in the class?
I think you get 2 tries.
You get, in the first one, you get 2 tries, and what else did we say?
I'm not remembering.
Okay, you're not remembering. So the idea is that we want to document and we want to have everyone else. What else did anybody remember? That we can remember anything? Anyone? That basically, when will quizzes be available? Michael, do you remember that?
Before we review the chapter.
Okay, but right, before they review the chapter, so it's probably what? It's probably going to be then what? How often?
Like when we move to
But basically every
Like
week. Every week there'll be another assignment due, and when is it due? It's going to be due, basically you can think about it, is that beginning of week. So usually what we'll have it, based on different problems, it's usually going to be due on Monday. Okay, we'll start the chapters on Monday, but now it's a little bit different since it's the beginning of the semester. We're having people come in, we're having people go out, we're doing a number of different ways in which we do it. Okay, so we got that part. So we know the assignments we talked about. What else did we talk about? We know that we have the PowerPoints. Those are 2, and then you have something called web links. Go to the web links. What do you see, Michael?
Rainer info.
Okay, and that Rainer means what? What do you think that Rainer means?
No idea.
No idea. Who figured out? Let them know. What does Rainer mean? What is Rainer? It's the textbook. So that's good to know, Michael, right? So if we're going to have a test, it's a good idea to know that we have a textbook coming. So we know that we have a textbook. Okay, so those are the links to your textbook. And how did I say that you need to do it? Do you need your textbook in this class? You do. What's the best way to get the textbook is what? Anybody remember? The cheapest way that you can. Because these textbooks are overly priced and they cheat everybody, right? All those textbooks. Have you seen the prices? So you want to get it the cheapest way that you can. If it's used, if it's rented, I don't care, but you just need the textbook for what purposes? For the concepts. We're going to go beyond the concepts in this class, and we're going to try to make it relevant for everyone. But the idea is everybody needs to know the foundations. Everybody needs to know what? You need to be able to know what are we going to do for the class. So we won't bother with that. Okay, so we got that. What else do you have under the web links? What's the next one? Michael, you're on a roll. You didn't know you were going to be on a roll. You thought if you sat in the last row, nobody was going to call on you. Wasn't that a nice thing, right? Maybe she won't see me. What are we going to do? I can sleep and I can do everything. And here I have my good doobies here in the first row, and they're wanting to volunteer, and I don't even call on them. So, Michael, you're on a roll. So what else do you see?
Discussion board.
No, under the web links. Go back.
Discussion board.
Under web links.
Yeah.
There's Rayner, and what's the next link?
Comparison of screencasting software.
Comparison of screencasting software, okay? And what the heck is screencasting software? You have a clue?
It's like what you use to record a screen or.
Right, what I use to record a screen. So one of the things that I was talking about last time is that we can have what we call screen recorders. This one is called MSN Recorder Max. I can try that because what I don't want, I would just want to try it. I don't want to have anything that's going to be problematic. And then I want to go to my courses. I'm going to log in as guest, right? And they're gumming me to log in Miami. So what happens with the screen recorder? So if I do the screen recorder, if I have a screen recorder that I have, what am I supposed to do with it? I'm supposed to do what? You see this here, Michael? That I can record the screen. And what's the advantage? I can do full screen, and it can record, and we talked about it last time. We had MPG, which stands for what? Who remembers? It's like we weren't here before. Can you imagine? I used to have this class where it was once a week and nobody remembered. Yes, your name.
Chris.
Chris.
Was it like motion picture?
It was motion picture graphics, and who cares? It was what? MPEG. Anybody hear about an MPEG file? It's a file type
She's just showing you
that what doesn't matter, who cares, is that it's going to be a file type that we can read digitally. And sometimes they're going to be more compressed files, and if it's a more compressed file, it means what, Chris?
The quality's probably gonna be lower.
The quality's going to be lower, but what's an advantage of a compressed file? Less space. So depending on what I have, depending on what we want to record, we can do this. But in this screen recorder, we talked about MPEG, and we said that we want to record. And what I said here is now we can see that I'm recording. I'm mic'd as well, and we can see the recording that we have. Okay? What else? Okay? In that, you have a list of screencasting programs. So what did I say at the last time that we were so overwhelmed, what did I say that I wanted you to do about screencasting programs? Anybody remember? You remember, Chris?
Yeah, that we had to download the program and record it and get some audio in there too.
And get some audio and basically be familiar with screencasting programs. And what's the advantage to that, Chris?
That you can pretty much show someone what you're doing on your screen if you need to.
Right, and what's the purpose? Either you want to teach somebody what you've done. So for instance, Michael, for instance, says, I couldn't figure out how to use the screencasting. You said, I have a great screencasting program. I'll show you it, and then you can basically post it somewhere, or you can send it to them in some fashion, and he can see it step by step. The other idea is what? Is that you can document your problems. Another one is that you can show off. Let's say you've developed an app. We're going to be developing apps in this class. As a matter of fact, somebody just contacted me today. They're a Miami company, and he's charging for doing mobile app development. And I said, is it for programmers? And he says, you don't have to be a programmer. And I said, great. I have a great class that I want to use it, but it costs money. And I said, I don't like when things cost money. We can test it out. Can we get it for free? He said, yes. So he's going to come and show us how, and we can evaluate it, right? I negotiate. Why are you smiling? Right? It's just, okay, you get, okay. So one of the things that you can see here is that we're doing him a favor by testing it out, right? He has the way. Why shouldn't we get it for free? So he's going to come, and he's one of those that we're going to evaluate how to do mobile apps, because one of the things we want to do here is create mobile apps. Because one of the things we want to do is disrupt in any area we want. We want to do projects, so we want to do that. So it's important to have this as issue in which we're going to be able to do. And now I'm going to go to, let's see if I can get this to work. I'm going to go to my Gmail. And my Gmail is DRSRush. Okay, so that's my Gmail. you can see this little icon of mine, and I'm going to go to, I can go a lot of different ways, but I'll show you a couple of different ways I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to YouTube, and basically what you can see here, I'm going to go to Creator Studio. Who's ever uploaded things to their own channel? Who has a channel on YouTube? Raise your hand. A couple of you. So one of the things here is we're using, for this program, we're using Hangouts on Air. So this is my channel, Dr. S. Rushy, and how I do live streaming is I live stream via Google. And you can see here, this is my live stream. And then there's something called Steemit. Anybody hear of Steemit? Steemit, like, what have you heard, Michael?
It's like an alternative to Facebook, but it's more blogging.
It's a blogging, very good. It's a blogging software. Go to steemit.com. And my channel is like Psycho. So at the Psycho. So go to steemit.com/@the-psycho and tell me what you see. So you think of me, the psycho, right? You know that instructor, the psycho? So you can see it, and here are my blogs. The difference, and you can put this in your notes if you want, the way that it is Steemit, Michael, is...
Isn't it like a blockchain project?
It's a blockchain project. Beautiful, Michael. So Steemit is a block. We were worried about Michael in the beginning, but he's coming too. So in the way here, Steemit is a blockchain project, and you get basically. Have you heard of Bitcoin? They have their own cryptocurrency called Steems. So you can then create something where if you can create enough interest, you can create Steems, basically like cryptocurrency. So why am I using it? I'm using my own dog food, as I said. So if you click on 8/22, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., what does that look like, Michael? That looks like maybe our class, because I have two classes, right? I have one back to back. So if we go inside of this, we can see here, and basically you can see if you go to the Steemit and look at the time frame, you'll see the link to this class, broadcast live. You guys were asking about was it recorded and so forth. So this, and notice I'm trying all this out, and does it always work? Of course. What is this? I have this crappy Norton updates and all this other crap. So in this case here, you can see here, this is the wrong one. I did the 6:30. So let me just go back. I don't want the 6:30. I want the, let me go back to the Steemit. I want the 5 p.m. Okay, so I have here, do I have it, when I do it, it's like, it comes back at the 6 each time, right? So let's see here, the short URL, we can see it. So this may have an error, we'll see what it is, but let me just go into my events here. Let me go my events here, and then it'll work. If I go to my events, I go to my 5 o'clock. You see here where I have Start Hangouts on Air? Let's see if this will work. I agree. I've got it. I'm going to join. And waiting for people to join this video call. Control and copy. And let's see if this will work. Share my entire screen. Let's see. Okay. And you're screen sharing. And now I'm going to pause this, and now I'm broadcasting live. So whenever you want to, you can go and see this. You don't need it now because you're all here, but you can get the links. Okay, great. Next, I want to go to my courses, right? I'm going to log in with my ID, my username and my password. And I see then, if I look at BTE 210, I see that my regular classes, so this is what we're going to do. Next time they need to clean this board. So is this shooting here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So today is what? Today is Wednesday. What's the date? 22nd. So it's August 22nd, 2018. So what we're going to cover then is we're going to be covering then collaboration. We're going to be covering roles. We're going to be covering screencasting. And we'll be covering broadcasting. And the intro to information systems. Okay. So we talked about, Michael then told us about the course documents. We talked about the course documents. We talked about the PowerPoints. I talked about chapter 1 for the download, right? And we talked about we want to open it. We talked about what else? We talked about the assignments where we have quiz 1, and we said that in the first quiz it's going to be done. You can take it up to 2 times, and it's due on this coming Monday. Okay? So we got that. So we know that quiz 1 is due Monday because of just getting back and forth. So this is regular information systems that we talk about. I'm not going to. How many people here know how to read, right? Everybody, is there anyone that doesn't? So one of the things here is I'm going to cover topics in the chapters that I think that are important for you to know. I'm not going to spoon feed you through the chapters. You can read the chapters on your own. The one thing I want, Michael, and you can tell the others, is that if there's topics that you don't understand, you want to research them on your own, you want to check with your group, and then you come to the class and we can discuss them together. These are what are having issues. I'm not quite sure when we're starting to talk about blockchain, what's the difference between different cryptocurrencies? Or what's the difference between, is there a blockchain that's with permissions and non-permissions? Things like that we'll talk about, right? So I'm not going to go. So all the stuff, have you ever read any of those textbooks for those introductory chapters? I hate them, don't you? They're just like blah, 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 blah. So one of those things that I'll make sure that you understand is, why should I study information systems? This almost looks like, anybody late at night ever see those infomercials, why you should buy, seen on TV of those chopping the knives or something? It's almost like why you should get a career in IT and why you should study information systems. But my contention is that technology's everywhere. So it isn't almost that idea that it's just those guys in corporations that just do IT. But it's rather ubiquitous. It's being disruptive everywhere, and we're going to be using technology all the time. So this is changing all the way. But they're trying to tell you here, and you can read it on your own, what are the benefits, what are the career opportunities, and they talk about different career opportunities as software developers, database information analysts, and persons. So if you do want to go into programming, there are a lot of opportunities. Where are the opportunities? The opportunities in our lot, and like we were talking about, like the mobile apps, anything digital transformation, what they call the back end of systems. What is a back end? What's the difference between the front end of a system and a back end of a system? Who can tell me? Has anybody heard about that? There's a back end system and then there's the front end. Sometimes they call it, and one of the things that you'll do is you'll have a lot of acronyms. There's something called UI, there's something called CX. What is it? And who cares? And you sitting there, what does that mean to me? You just sit there, Chris? When I ask you what's UI and CX, what should you do?
Look it up.
Look it up. Everybody, look it up. What is UI and what is CX? And what did you find, Evan? It's good to know. What is your name again?
Eden?
Eden?
UI is user interface and UX is user experience.
UI is user interface, and there's something, user interface, so put that down. UI is user interface. User interface. UX is what? Evan?
User experience.
User experience. And what's CX?
Customer experience.
Customer experience. So you know that kind of by customer experience. All of this is usually called the front end. Somebody was telling me they were into computer graphics. Adobe, who was telling me that? Somebody last time, no? So basically, what does that mean? It's the design, the look and feel of an app. Right? You want to be able to attract. You don't want to do a lot of reading, right? You don't want to do a lot of typing, but it's the look and the feel. That's called the front end. What's the back end then? So think about anywhere. What's the back end? Huh?
Technology in it.
Well, it's more than that. Let's think. Where do you go? What site do you always go to? Let's say more than once a week. What is your name again?
Jackie.
Jackie. ESPN. Okay, so let's go to, if we looked at ESPN and you just go and you look on it through your phone or what?
No, computer.
Okay, so you go to ESPN this. So if we look at ESPN, let's say, what is the front end?
The looks.
The looks, right? They're showing you basically, this is probably some ad or something, right? They're having some pictures here, they're scrolling, the do not, sign up, customize, right? And play and so forth. Everybody feel that? That's the look and the feel. And the look and the feel of ESPN versus what else? Eden, where do you go? Let's say, everyone, or wherever you,
Websites?
Yeah.
Like Facebook?
Facebook, okay, so she goes to Facebook. So if you went to Facebook, Facebook has a different feel. Go to your Facebook, it has a different feel and look, right? And it's personalized to you, and then you can basically do it. You can see it on your mobile device, you can see it here. That's the look and the feel. So who's ever gone to Amazon? Anyone? Okay, so let's go to Amazon. So if I go to Amazon, right? Amazon already here will be giving me Amazon, Fire TV. Do you have the same things I do? Or you have different? Yes, no?
I agree.
Okay, so go into Amazon. So you get the difference? You get kind of the thing, they're doing these slides here. And what is this? Prime Video, they're trying to sell me on this, they're trying to sell me on these devices. This is the look and feel. Everybody with me? That's the UI, user interface, that's the user experience. And now if I want to order something, right, and let's say I wanted to, what was that? You remember we didn't know, Michael, what was the name of the author? Rayner,
Yeah,
right? And we got here, Rayner Information Systems, was that how we spelled it? Infosys or something, Rayner Infosys. Right, and it says it's all right here. Let's even do this, doesn't matter. So I got a book, doesn't matter what book it is. And what is it? It's look inside, right? I can look inside the book. I can order, can I buy? I can buy it for $13 and $18. This is the user field. So now tell me what's the back end. I order the book. Anybody who ever ordered something on Amazon? Right, you have an account, you order, you put in your username and password, and then what's the back end? Can I ever see what I ordered? Do I ever get any type of data? What do they need to know? I have to pay some way, even though you know I'm cheap already, right? Even Amazon makes me pay, even though I like all my points and so forth, you'll see, right? And I get everything, and now basically what, if I have my Amazon Prime, I go to Whole Foods, right? I get my discount there, make sure. So what? So what's the back end? Are they do they have me in a database, Jackie? My name?
Yes.
Yes. Do they know how much I ordered? Yes. Do they then recommend to me people that ordered something will order these other products? That's part of what we call artificial intelligence, right, of those ordering. And that whole back end, that's called, Jackie, the back end. Those databases keeping track of the customers, trying to find out what are my customers, my analytics, finding all those customers, right, that they're going to recommend products to me, is they're keeping track of that. In a way, people, privacy, they're keeping track all the time. They even know where I'm going, right? And sending me, right? And Google, too, basically is tracking me. Google, how much do I pay for Gmail? Huh? 0. But what am I paying? But there's nothing free. Google is a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Apple is trillion, right? We're talking about. So do I pay I go for Gmail, right? I don't pay anything. YouTube, who owns YouTube, Jackie? Who owns YouTube? Anybody know? Huh? What? Google, right? I have a channel. Do you have a channel?
Yes.
Do you pay for hosting it?
No.
No. So how do I host my videos and you host yours? You have a Gmail account?
Yes.
You do. Do you pay for that?
No.
No. So all this free, and they're a multi-billion-dollar company that's traded publicly. So how are they making a profit? Ads on Google, right? Tracking me, and basically they're tracking me all the time, and they're basically saying, give me, when somebody wants to advertise, give me those people that are between 18 and 22 that are college students that are living in South Florida that like to go to Miami Beach. And there's some clubs there or whatever. You're paying for it. We're paying for that, and we're looking at it. So that's what we saw the user experience. The back end, Jackie, is doing the database, the programming side to take care of my customers. To take care of the shipping, right? To take care of what else? Of many other back end parts. So that is the first part when they talk about those programs that you have. Everybody with me? Questions? So I had the Amazon, I had all this. So this is the area in which we talked about those software developers, those web developers, data information, and then they're talking about what? Security analysts. What are security analysts? Basically keeping all these, what? That I don't get hacked. So this is now important. Are we worried about our security? Major companies, for instance, have problems. The latest hacks, do any companies get hacked? They do. Many times they get hacked. How do they get, even the government, right? Anybody hear about that in our Russian elections, right? The Russians have stopped our things. And what do they talk about? They talk about phishing attacks. How do you spell phishing attacks? Look it up. Phishing attacks, and how do you spell it? Who can tell me how to spell a phishing attack? Your name? Sam. How do you spell phishing? Phishing. So let's look it up. And Eden, what did you find when you did phishing attacks?
It's a fraudulent attempt to obtain sensitive information.
Okay, fraudulent attempt for information. How do they get fraudulent attempts for information? What's the most common way that phishing attacks can be? What else did somebody find in phishing? What did you find it?
I don't know, when you click a link and you give them your data,
Okay, but how?
like you putting it in yourself.
How, Michael?
Would they'll copy the code to a popular website?
They'll probably, but what is the most common one is you get an email and there's a link within the email and you press that email and then that whole network is then attacked. We'll invite the chief security officer from this university to visit with us. Do you think this university has been hacked? Many times. And why do they like? They like to hack universities. Why? There's a network. Are we attached to the university network? We're all separate computers. I don't see any wires between us. Are we? As soon as we get on the Wi-Fi of the university, we are part of the network. And then, are there any devices that we use on campus? Of course there is. What's the major thing? Why do hackers love universities?
A lot of kids, a lot of information.
What are they going to take from me? What are they going to take from my computer here? PowerPoints? Let them have it, right? But what is it? But besides that, besides a lot of information, what? Yes, what is your name?
Greta.
Greta.
Address, name.
Address, name, that's one. What else? Why do they love it so much? AJ, why do they love it so much? Money, credit cards, what else? Think a little bit outside the box. Yeah, Chris.
Could they maybe see what college kids are looking at on the internet?
Could be. Any other idea? Their main reason is they can take your computer and hack other systems without you knowing it. Everybody hear what I said? Basically what they do, are there a lot of laptops on campus? Sure are. Do you bring your own? Yes. Do you hook into the network? You sure do. And what they do is they hook into your computer, and basically what they do is they hack other systems around the world. And in order for them to hack other systems around the world, they need to have other computers to do it. So you're doing, and you don't even know it. Everybody understand? So you don't even know it. They're grabbing on because it's in stealth mode. So they're onto your computer and they're using your computer to hack other computers. Anybody hear of a DOS? Have you heard about, who's heard about a DOS? AJ, did you ever hear about a DOS? Look it up. Everybody thinks they're good. Am I the only one supposed to work here? No. Yes, Michael, what is it?
Denial of service.
Denial of service. And there's something called DDoS. You see this? DDoS. And what is that? The extra D.
Distributed.
Distributed. And what does that mean? So it's a distributed. So stay with me, AJ, here on this trend. Denial of service means what? What does denial of service mean?
It makes their whatever service they're using unavailable.
Right. So why would I want to do it? So let's think Amazon. Any website, right? how do they stay in business? Is they need their website to be what? To be on, right? To work. If you want to order a book tonight, if they're down, if you can't reach them, you'll go to somewhere else to get up the book, right? They can't be in business with their system down. So what a denial of service means is that they try to, what they call ping, or they try to approach their system, and they do it millions of times. So what they do is they try to inundate a system. They try to inundate a computer website. In order for me to do that, AJ, I need to have several computers to be able to do that, to write programs, to try it many, many times, almost loop over and over again. So where can I get those computers? I can hire people, but what's a better way is to enter and go onto campuses and take a number of computers and drop that program in and then do the denial of service. Another one is what they call ransomware. Anybody hear about that? Ransomware. What do we get? What's ransomware? Next to Michael, what is your name?
John.
John. What is ransomware? Right. So what is ransomware? What do we get? Eden, what do we get? What did we get? Did we get something?
Malicious software.
Malicious software that does what?
Once it's taken over the computer, it doesn't do it harm, usually by denying.
Has anybody ever heard about somebody being kidnapped and they ask for ransom? Right? Your parents would be freaked out, right? You're in Miami somewhere and we grab you, right? Where are you from, right? We're gonna grab you. Tell us your parents, and we'll get the money, right? We'll give back your lovely son or daughter when you drop under the tree, those unmarked bills, and don't call the FBI. Have you ever seen those kind of things? Don't call the cops, and then some guys in the brown bag and and then I go grab you, and then I throw you out onto the street into the woods, and I say I don't want you anyways. Okay. So they do that with your computer. The only difference is they go, for instance, to a hospital. God forbid your grandmother has to go for surgery, and they say, okay, let me see the list and where she has to go. And they say, we can't get into our computer system. And what do they demand? They demand ransom. And guess what, Michael? How do they want in digitally? Those ransomware don't have to go to right here to South Miami to the hospital with a gun. They could be sitting in who knows where, in Timbuktu or Ukraine or wherever. And what are they going to demand? Demand dollars? Send me from your bank account, send me $1 million? Bitcoin. Voila. And a number of hospitals give the Bitcoin because guess what? They need to be up and running. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay. So read this on your own, but this is what I want to do. This is what I want to emphasize for you. You can figure out what those terms are, and then we're going to go beyond that. So what I want to do before I let you go is, Michael was telling us before that we had two assignments. We had the Blackboard, where we know then on Monday we want to do the quizzes, right? We'll do quiz 1, and then it'll be due before the class begins. And then what we want to do is we want to go back to Blackboard. And once I go back to Blackboard, then I want to go to the audit area. So go to your audit area. And when I go to my audit area, what I see here is here I want to even do the web links here. Let me go up to the web links here. Let's go to course documents. And then when I go to course documents, you see under build content? Everybody with me? Yes? Help your neighbors. Under build contents, I want to go to, I'm just going to do this now. You don't do it. I'm going to go to content folder, and then I'm going to go to, I'm going to call it group 0. And now I'm going to put my name here. And I'm going to put in my Gmail. I'll put in my Gmail of drsrush@miami.edu. And then I'm going to put in my phone number. And then I'm going to do my phone number as well. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to submit, and I have my group. And if I go to my group here, 0, and I go into it, you see here where it says build content and it says item? On the item here, whatever I want to upload, I can give it a name. I can give it the description being your name, and I can upload and I can browse. You have full rights here in this section of the audit area. Everybody with me? You have full rights here in the audit area. Everybody sign up? Anyone not? Okay, so I have it here. Can you do me a favor? You have a pen? You have a pen? Number of these. So what we're going to do is I want you to get groups of 3 people and make yourself a group. And I want your group then with everybody's, let me go backwards here, with everybody's name. Let me go to documents, under course documents. I'm going to make myself a group 0. I'm in everybody's group. So I'm able to help everybody. You want my help? Fine. I give advice, but you have me as the groups. And the advantage here is you have full rights to upload. You have full rights to do this. Later on, you see here web links. What I'll have you do is add web links of things that you find interesting, that you want the class to read and so forth. We'll be able to do this, but we'll be able to do everything here within your groups. So what I'd like to do for the next, goes to 6:15, right? This class? So for the next 10 minutes, what I'd like you to do is to get into groups of 3, have your group numbers, and then you'll play around by what's the problem here is everybody has full rights, so people can mess with your work. So what you want to be able to do is to have backups. Not only here that you're going to be able to upload. So any assignments that I give you, where will you upload? You'll upload it to the audit area. So the first assignment I want you to do is the screencasting program. Remember I said you remember Chris, I said I want a short clip. I want to have that done. I want to have a description. Here when you do it on build content, you can build it up. You want to write your name on each assignment you do. And then I want you to work with your group to do it. And then the second part will be to try to find a collaboration program on how to collaborate as a group. Was it Sam who did the team viewer? It's something like either you can find like a collaboration programs and things that we can do. But the first thing is I want to do screencasting, and I want you within the screencasting programs that you find is try within your group to find different screencasting programs. Because sometimes you can all find, Screen-O-Matic or something else. Try to find different ones. And how can you do it? By looking for screencasting. And how much do I like to spend? Nothing. So look for free, at least for free. Get the free version. And later on, if it's so fantastic, right, we'll pay for it. But in the beginning, let's get free versions and then evaluate that program. And basically, you can evaluate by being like reviewers. This is how you use this program. This is what the positive things about it. These are the negative things. And then later on, we'll find the best of the best, and then we'll use it throughout the semester. So when we're going to be trying to do FinTech programs or something like that, we'll be able to evaluate. When we get stuck, we'll be able to do that. Evan, if you want to help somebody, say send me basically your document. When you have problems, you can have it. When you want to have reviews. Everybody with me on what I want to do? So I want to take this time here that we can do that. We'll have guest speakers throughout the semester. What looks like, which is good. How many people have class after this on Monday night? 1, 2. I may have, and on Wednesday too, how many same people have Wednesday? Okay. I'll have guest speakers come into this class, and I may have other guest speakers or the same ones extending to my next class. So based on room, you can stay there. On Monday nights, so far, that first Monday night, I didn't see another class. So sometimes we may even extend some things that we can work together in teams. You know what I mean? After the class. My office hours on Mondays are right after the class. On Wednesdays, it's after my other class, which is usually ends about 8 or 8:30. So we can work on those things as well. So we don't leave the class. The class isn't over. Let's take 10 minutes from 6 to 6:10, and then at 6:10, I'll go over all of your groups to make sure, and then even in between that, once you get all your names, the first thing is, what do I want on the group name? Is I want your name, your, you know what, I'm not going to use Miami.edu. I'm going to make a correction here. Now, how do I correct it? I made a mistake. You see this coming down here? I'm going to edit. And now I'm going to say drsrush@gmail.com. Right? So I'm going to go back to gmail.com. And now I'm going to submit. So I'm group 0. And then Shanna, Jackie, and Andres already did it, right? And now in between, and then I have somebody else here. They were quick here to the draw, and now basically we have the same numbers. We got somebody doing a group. I don't know what's this, but they did it.
Sorry, we're doing. That was an accident. No, I take group 2. That's
okay. So we got
What's your
this
email?
up here. Let's work on this for 10 minutes, and then we'll resume. Okay. But in
Number?
the meantime, what I do
312.
is find now
813. 6464.
and let's start doing our homework now. Why waste time?
So wait, I like.
Who does not have a group?
What do we have to what's our?
Somebody has a group? Let's go.
Wait, what are we supposed to screencast? Chris? Hey, what's up? Oh, that's it? So she's giving us a video on this? We also, no one was getting this. I never got mine.
That's like chasing the
Oh, the next thing.
Yeah.
No,
I guess so. I know St. Martin's. My skirt's so like. What?
Okay, but
Yeah, yesterday you were
Google
like.
Hangouts on there.
You know it?
Things like that. One is Google Hangouts on there. Another one is Zoom.
Same.
Another one is,
We did it as a file, not a.
What do you do? I never understand. Understand what? She's like,
And in the
anyone
meantime,
understand?
look to see if you can buy screencasting. In the links there, I have a list of screencasting programs too.
Yeah, go back and just recopy what we did. I did, yeah.
And then what I want you to do is do a review. You'll not only do when you upload your screens, let me show you. So for instance, in group 0, I'll make another subfolder. Now I have Cameron, Madison, and Michael. Where are you?
Oh, I think I did that to the wrong.
Right. So you see that you put yourself in me. So it's like you put your 3 of it. You see that? Oh, that's a good sign. So O means we got to delete it and make your own folder.
Yes.
Isn't that great? One of the things when we say, oh, that's good, because we're not going to be so scared. We say, oh, we made a mistake, big deal. And then when we learn, we can do that. You got it? So I'm going to, did you delete it?
Yeah.
Okay. So watch this, what I'm going to do. I'm within group 0, which is myself. I'm going to make a content folder, and I'm going to call it screencasting. And now within screencasting, for instance, I'll then upload an item. And in the item, for instance, I'll say then I use, let's say, MSN recorder, and then I'll give it a description here. And I'll say works on Windows. And here you'll do pros, uploads to YouTube, free, and then I'll submit.
Oh god.
What?
Oh god. Then no, I'd be done. I'd just transfer right then and there.
What do you want?
Okay. So if we got and there. I'm thinking of wanting it out of
Yeah,
here.
okay, fine, I'll get it.
that's- but then I need that.
Fine, I'll call you back. Okay. So now, we have it, so let me go back to course documents. So I have group 0, I have group 1, group 2 is Vanessa, Madeline, and Eden, group 3 is Dan and Evan, right? I only have 2, where's Dan and Evan? Okay, so we only have 2. Okay, Jamie and Kaisi and Spencer is group, so I don't have group 4, right? Group 6, we have a little problem with counting here. So group 4, Renee, right? So you can move yourself, right? So Renee, you know, Renee, Leah, and Noah, where are you?
We're here.
Okay.
Oh, we were right there.
Okay, far. Okay, so just move yourself up. You see this arrow here? Move yourself up between 3 and 4. Between 3 and 4. 5 is Alec, Rob, and Aaron. Okay. Group 7 is Cameron, Madison, and Michael. Are we in group
Oh, yeah, same.
3, right? Okay, group 8 is Sam, Zach, and Lawrence. And what happened to group 10? So Greta, you may want to go edit and make yourself group 10. Who hasn't put themselves up here? What happened? Huh? You're group 10, you put yourself up there? Okay, scroll down. So move yourselves in between, right? So here we got it.
No, do they have
They have so much good shit.
Okay. What
That's what
else?
happens like when you
Yeah.
order like a train of it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I
So
mean?
you put yourself, you're not listed where?
They're sick. Like, some of them are sick.
You're not listed as what? In What does it mean you're not listening?
That's kind of lit.
Never mind.
You have the Wi-Fi.
I got this one.
Oh my god, that's so sick.
It's sick, literally. I love that. I got like a ton of it. They're like not expensive.
Yeah.
Like $15.
Everybody
Are you gonna put
does
them all
it in
over
your
your
own
room?
room.
I love it. Yeah.
No, you need 3.
So everyone has to do one and it's for a different.
Oh wait, that was that
Try to
that
do for a
off-white
different
one?
program,
I don't know, I
right.
just saw it.
But you can work
Yeah,
together
this is like
doing it.
That's really
Do you understand? Can I get your attention, folks? There's so much excitement here. Okay, we're overly whelmed here. Folks, if you want to talk to your neighbor, text them or something, okay?
Can I text
But,
you?
so I can speak to you. Let's go over what the assignment is so we're clear.
Why are you texting your own?
What the assignment is, I want each of you then to try to find a different screencasting program. You can work together as a group, but if I have 3 people in the group, I want to find 3 different screencasting programs, and you want to evaluate it. And the way to evaluate it is make a screencasting of your evaluation using your voice.
So we use it using that program?
Yeah, using that program, that's the whole idea, right? So that's the whole, using that program, and then you can talk about, these are the pros, these are the cons of that program.
What program are we evaluating?
The
What-
screencasting.
The screencasting program.
So should we find those on like just research?
Yes, and you have that second link, you have some screencasting programs right now.
We can discuss all
And then you can find, and then we'll have on Monday, folks, there's so much excitement. On Monday, we'll go through those and we'll decide as groups what are the best ones. So we're basing collaboration. The second part, if you have time, is the idea of being able to document collaboration programs where you're recording not only the screens, but you're recording each other, just like I'm broadcasting here. But we'll wait on that part. And the other part is to do the quiz.
You just have to write a review.
I know.
That's the one thing I really.
You want to do both. You want to write a review and you want to do the review within your screencasting program. You actually want to use it.
Yeah, but you have to
And we also do like 4 days.
Yes.
I know.
And then
Freshman year.
You have, perfect. Great question.
Because we were like
You want to
desperate.
do both. You want to submit it plus you want to do a review. You can do a little review.
Now we're old.
Yes.
I literally said that like we're literally
Monday.
all ugly.
Monday.
Like grandma.
Yes. Yes, you want to talk in the video. Because you want to be able to use the audio. There's also some text part too. Yes.